That Wales team are a bunch of mad lads. They let Japan run for over a kilometre in carries. They're behind on the scoreboard with time running out and it looks like it's done, and they find a way to win. Although, actually, when you say it like that, it could be that Japan are the mad lads for somehow managing to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. What a game it was in Cardiff. Well, actually, no, I need to take that back. What a spectacle it was in Cardiff. At times farcical, but so entertaining. And yeah, here's some thoughts. Just a little review of the game since we've had a chance to take stock. And there you go, Wales, a victory. A rare, rare victory. Something for the fans to cheer about. And the biggest story of this game was just that heart digging deep, having not played particularly well in a lot of cases, having really given Japan an own goal, just tap it in, take the victory, and then to be able to have the guts to go from one end of the pitch to the other and execute and win. It's really, really good. It's heartening. And I know, look, I'm an Englishman, and I know that can sound really patronising. I've watched Wales have era-defining teams that have gone to World Cup semi-finals, won Grand Slams. They are a long, long way from that. That is a measure of where they've fallen, that there is such joy at playing a Monopoly get-out-of-jail-free card to pick up a win against Eddie Jones's Japan. Speaking of Eddie Jones's Japan, actually, I'm going to touch on in this video what Eddie Jones had to say after the match about the officiating, but I'm going to leave that for the end of the video. Let's talk about the actual game first. Please let me know your thoughts. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit subscribe on the channel if you appreciate the content. I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers. And I think Welsh fans should be delighted at a win. Just take it. Take the joy. A win is a win. And the easy thing to do would just be to pick apart all of the things that didn't go well. And I'll touch on some of those for sure. But actually, a win is a win sometimes. And with everything that's happened over the last 18 months, I think they've deserved the opportunity to enjoy that. And the tension of in that stadium when Jared Evans knocked over that kick, enjoy it. Because there's been precious little else to enjoy due to the general dumpster fire that is Welsh rugby. Well, the WRU. The fans have always been brilliant. The players are absolutely doing what they can. There's just all sorts of stuff that's gone systemically wrong over a long period of time that means that a game against Japan is the defining game of Wales's year. Some of those players on the field look terrified. There's new leadership of the side. Steve Tandy's actually carrying himself quite well. I like the things he's saying. The excuses are already made. There was every reason to fold, and they found a way to win. On the flip side, if you're Japan, how much... I don't think many of those Japanese players would have slept much last night because they shat the bed, to put it mildly. Positives for Wales. Dan Edwards, I thought he looks good to me. I did think there was I don't know, the 9, 10, 12 things not totally working, but just Dan Edwards, if you just look at him objectively, I thought he looked quite good. Jared Evans as well as a backup. I'd like to have seen him maybe get more than 90 seconds, but I mean, coming on and not really being involved very much and then having to slot that kick, fair play to him. I was wincing and kind of looking, hiding behind the sofa. I don't know how it must have felt if you were Welsh. Ollie Cracknell, I love stories like this. A 31-year-old making his Welsh debut. He probably thought the opportunity had passed him by. And as a result, no one looks like they're playing with more pride than Ollie Cracknell. And he just thought, right, I'm here now. I'm 31. I'm just going to give it a crack. I'm going to put my body on the line. And that sort of attitude is what got Wales across the line. I thought he was absolutely magic. And they need more of that because sometimes parts of this Welsh team are a bit soft. Again, Japan ran for over 1,000 metres in this match. I think if I were Welsh and just chatting to, mates of mine that are Welsh, they can accept where they're at. I think the non-negotiable is that they just want to watch players that go out there and like empty the tank and end themselves. put themselves in harm's way for their country. And no one did that more than Ollie Cracknell. And Alex Mann, to be fair, in that back row. And Alex Mann did a very good Jack Morgan impression in the absence of Jack Morgan. By the way, on Jack Morgan, I feel a little bit sorry for him, obviously being injured, but missing out on those 2 victories for Wales this year. He hasn't been involved in either of them against Japan. Because of course he was away with the British and Irish Lions back in July, so he missed the feeling of winning in a Welsh jersey there, and he's missed the victory here in Cardiff as well. And there was one stat that was buzzing around on a little rugby WhatsApp group I'm in that said, and is this absolutely right? Can you confirm this? Jack Morgan, in his whole Welsh career to date, has only ever won 1 game in Wales wearing a Welsh jersey. Only 1 game at home he's ever won. So that's nuts, isn't it? And well, that tells you everything about the last couple of years. Eddie Jones, I think he would have every right to go nuclear after that one. Missed kicks, lack of control at the death. All they had to do was win their line out and run the clock down. Over 1,000 metres carried, like I say, doing some really nice things in attack. Some of their players are coming back into a little bit of form. They've got Georgia next week, and I think they should and they will feel confident about that one, but that could be a really fun game as well. They were down to 13 men at one point, and in that period where they were down to 13 men, I don't know whether this says more about Wales or Wales's attack or Japan's defence, but they contained Wales quite well. When Wales were down to 13, that might say more about Wales's attack than anything. The defeat, that penalty at the end was totally avoidable, and that fella, what's his name? Hawkins. Is it Hawkins? He will be feeling absolutely sick right now. Yeah. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Back to Wales. Blair Murray and Ben Thomas. Not convinced about them. It seems like they're being picked for their attack. But defence, they look out of their depth. Murray under the high ball. He's so good on attack, though, but just such a liability, and it's going to be exposed. But then again, who else do you pick? It's easy to point out players that aren't great, but it's not like Wales have got loads of options. Lewis Rees-Zammit and Josh Adams on paper look absolutely box office. In reality, weren't really there. Lewis Rees-Zammit needs a little bit more time to get back into rugby union by the look of it. I would just say Wales, they're not a million miles off being they're not a million miles. They're a million miles off being back to the greatness of the great Sam Warburton, Jamie Roberts, Liam Williams and co-team. But what they need, they're not a few. If Wales had a nasty mutant number 4 enforcer in the as a lock, just someone that would strike physical fear into the opposition, there just isn't that imposing fear, physical dominance. They just need a little bit of that. And with the same token, the centre partnership, not convinced about at all. Why is Max Llewellyn on the field, this massive centre, if he's not going to be the one carrying into contact? I don't get it. I don't know whether that's tactics or the individual. I've got no idea. But a mutant ball-carrying centre wouldn't go amiss. And a classy, calm, composed 15, those 3 players would make a massive difference to this Welsh team. Also, I mean, while we're putting a Christmas list for Wales together, just a big mutant of a tight head prop as well wouldn't go amiss. So I mentioned the 20-minute red card, wasn't it, for Adams? There was yellow cards for Japan. And did you see what Eddie Jones had to say? I said I'd touch upon this. But this kind of ties in a little bit with what happened in the Italy-South Africa game. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the bit where with what Eddie Jones says. Where is it? Oh, have I lost it completely? What's going on? Hold on a minute. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I found it. Eddie Jones said it was absurd and farcical. Not just talking about his own players, by the way, just talking generally. He said, I don't think any of the actions today were intentional and deserve to be sin bins, Wales or Japan. We have to have a more sensible approach to the game. There are going to be contacts with the head. I did a video yesterday when I was still at Twickenham, reflecting on the Italy-South Africa game with exactly this thought in my mind. Rugby's a dangerous sport. Like, you cannot try and litigate every incidental or accidental head contact. Head contact is going to happen in a game of rugby. Accept it. The hysteria has got to end. And I think Eddie Jones is absolutely on the money with this. He said, unless it's reckless, which I didn't see any of those actions being reckless, I don't understand the sanctions. Of course, we've got to have penalties, but it needs to be looked at. At one stage, we were down to 13, talking about Japan. They get a red card and they're down to 14. The game of rugby is about 15 players on the field, and I think World Rugby should be looking at this closely. It is becoming absurd. I hard agree with Eddie Jones on that one. I like the comment he said at the end as well. He was asked about the WRU, and he said, "Well, if I was a Welsh fan, I'd be asking for my, I'd be asking the Welsh Rugby Union for my money back, but they can't afford it, so they're not going to give it back." Well done, Wales. Fair play. I mean, a long, long way to go. It was far from a good performance, but it was a gritty performance in the end, and at least it gave those home fans something to cheer. Japan, they've got to beat Georgia next week. Otherwise, it will be a bit of a disaster of a November series for them. And will that mean Eddie Jones comes under pressure? Who knows? Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think on any of that, and I will see you on the next one.